13 Steps Down, Part 1. The Discovery. The rain had been falling for days, not the quick, sharp kind that washes the world clean, but a slow, insistent drizzle that seeped into every tree, every stone, every tired board of the farmhouse. I drove through the mist, watching the fog curl along the creek, past trees whose branches sagged heavy with water. The world felt damp and waiting. The house rose ahead like a relic forgotten by time. Moss climbed the shingles in green veins. The porch sagged at its center, warped boards creaking softly as if complaining under their own weight. I stepped out of the truck, boots sinking slightly into wet mud, and felt the house pressing at me with the weight of its age. Lily Hart met me at the drive, smaller than I expected, quiet, composed, but with eyes that had seen far too much for her years. She nodded toward the porch. "It's stubborn," she said. "Grandpa started things and never finished them. Doors that don't fit, walls that lean. A puzzle, really." I smiled. "I work with stubborn buildings. They have stories. You just have to listen." Inside, the air smelled of damp timber, stone, and something older, buried in the walls. Every creak of the floorboards sounded intentional, as if the house was breathing around me. I ran my hand along the hallway beams, feeling the grooves and knots that centuries of hands had pressed into them. The first few days were simple enough. Brace the joists, tear out rot, inspect the foundation for weakness. Even amid the work, my mind kept returning to the strange layout of the house, the narrow hallways that led nowhere, doors that didn't fit any frame. There was something off here, though I couldn't place it, something alive. I found it on the fourth day. A hollow sound under my hammer drew me to the basement wall. The concrete beneath the plaster felt wrong. I pried away more drywall and insulation and discovered a seam, subtle but deliberate. A small rusted metal loop revealed itself when I brushed away the dust. I pulled, and the panel gave way with a sigh. Behind it, darkness yawned. A staircase, wooden and narrow, descending into packed earth. 13 steps. I counted without thinking. The air that rose from below was cool, damp, and smelled of iron-rich soil. My chest tightened as I felt a pulse in the floor, slow and rhythmic, almost like a heartbeat. The next morning I brought Lily down. She laughed at first. Root cellar unfinished. Nothing to see here. But when she leaned closer, her face softened. "This wasn't here before. I grew up here. I would have noticed." I said nothing. Her hesitation and certainty were enough. We left the cellar reluctantly, but I couldn't stop thinking about the stairs. That night, the dream came again, half sleep, half wake. I descended the steps, counting each step aloud. From below came 3 slow, deliberate knocks. I woke, heart hammering, sweat cold on my back. Over the next days, the stairs drew me in. I counted them, touched the worn wood, felt the chill deepen as I approached the bottom. 13 steps, always 13. Yet something beneath them seemed aware, waiting, patient, eternal, watching. The drive to the Hart farmhouse had been long and quiet, the kind of road that stretches endlessly through gray pines and misted valleys. The rain had begun before I left, soft at first, then insistent, coating the windshield with 1,000 tiny rivulets. Headlights cut a narrow path through the fog, and the world outside seemed suspended in a muted gray hush. I thought about why I had come here. Houses had always called to me more than jobs or money. I fixed things that others abandoned, mended what was cracked, reshaped decay into something almost alive again. But I also carried my own fractures, reminders of a life I had let slip away, divorce papers still folded in a drawer, a few photographs tucked behind my tools. The Hart farmhouse was supposed to be just another restoration, yet from the first glimpse through the mist, I knew this would be different. The house appeared suddenly through the fog, a squat figure leaning into itself, roof tiles warped, porch sagging. Moss crept over the shingles in slow green veins, thick as old scars. I parked in the mud and stepped out, the wet air heavy with cedar and the distant tang of the creek. Every inch of the house told me a story, though I did not yet know the author. Lily moved through it like she belonged, small and sure but cautious. She examined the boards, the warped railings, the crooked windows with a practiced eye, as if seeing the house in layers, its past, its present, and something she understood that I could not. "The house remembers," she said one morning, voice soft. It remembers the people who lived here and the people who leave it. I followed her gaze, thinking of all the hands that had touched this place, the laughter and sorrow pressed into the walls, and the secrets hidden in every shadow. I told her nothing about the pulse I felt beneath the floorboards, the subtle vibration that seemed to echo through my own chest. Some things I realized were better left unspoken for now. Work on the house continued in quiet rhythm. I replaced rotting floorboards, braced leaning walls, and cleared sections of the overgrown yard. Every swing of hammer or saw reminded me of the fragility of time, the persistence of decay, and my own small attempts at restoration. And yet, even amid the familiar comfort of labor, my mind kept returning to the staircase hidden behind the panel. 13 steps, ending in packed earth. I first returned to it on the fifth day. Alone, I knelt at the top step, hand running over the worn wood. The air was colder here than elsewhere, dense with the scent of soil and something older, mineral, and faintly sweet. I lowered myself carefully, counting each step aloud. 1, 2, 3. The darkness swallowed the beam of my flashlight, and the vibration beneath the wood grew stronger, insistent, almost like a heartbeat. At the bottom, I crouched, hand pressed against the earth. The sensation was subtle, but undeniable. A rhythm older than the house itself throbbed faintly beneath the floorboards, and I sensed a presence. Not hostile, not welcoming, but patient, aware, waiting. I could feel it responding to me, acknowledging me in a way I could neither name nor understand. I left the cellar reluctantly that evening. The house settled quietly around me, timber groaning softly, as if sighing with anticipation. Outside, the mist thickened over the creek, curling around the trees in spectral tendrils. I could hear the soft drip of water from the roof, the creak of a branch heavy with rain, and beneath it all, I felt the pulse, faint but constant, a reminder that the earth beneath me was watching, waiting. Lily approached me the next morning, carrying tools for repairs. She watched me carefully as I worked, her eyes lingering on my hands, my posture, the way I sometimes paused to glance at the cellar door. "You feel it, don't you?" she asked quietly. I stopped, placing a hand on a partially repaired beam. "I don't know what it is," I admitted. "Something beneath the house. Something alive. It's aware." Her expression tightened. "Some things aren't meant to be understood," she said. "Not yet." Night brought vivid half-dreams. I descended the stairs again and again, counting, feeling the damp wood under my hands, the cold air pressing against my skin. 3 knocks echoed from below, slow and deliberate, each one vibrating through my chest. I woke gasping, chest tight, the house silent save for the soft drip of water from the roof. And always the pulse remained, faint but constant, a reminder that the earth beneath me was watching, waiting. Then one night, under a moon pale and thin, I returned to the stairs with a sense of inevitability. Fog curled between the trees outside, the creek a silver thread in the darkness. I descended carefully, flashlight quivering in my hand, counting each worn step. 1, 2, 3, 12, 13. At the bottom, I froze. Earth, fresh and wet, had shifted at the base of the stairs. A 14th step had appeared, perfectly formed, impossibly new, yet seamlessly integrated into the staircase. The pulse beneath it thrummed more strongly, resonating through the floor, the steps, the air, and my own chest. The house seemed to lean in closer, listening. I stood, hand hovering, unable to move or speak. The 14 steps waited silently, each one a testament to something alive beneath the earth. The presence beneath the house was no longer subtle. It had responded, had grown aware. And I knew, with a certainty that made my blood run cold, that this was only the beginning. Some doors once seen cannot be unseen. Some steps once counted cannot be uncounted. And some calls once heard cannot be ignored. 14 steps down. Thank you for watching. Make sure to come back for part 2. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as always, have a wonderful day.